Portugal, Ghana, Uruguay and South Korea. You had Kevin Achard there say that he believes that Uruguay can win the group. Here's a question for you, Gemma.
Yep.
How much of a distraction, if any, will the Ronaldo story at home in Manchester have on this squad, Portugal, in this World Cup?
I think for the initial get-together, we saw a bit of frostiness with Bruno. But look, I think being Ronaldo, you know, that's always a talking point in press conference, whether it's good, whether it's bad, whether it's scored. He's always going to be their main topic. Yeah. So I don't think this will be anything, you know, out of the ordinary. It's a lot of, you know, talk of Ronaldo and him making all the headlines. They're probably used to it. But, you know, for his teammates, as in like Bruno, then I'm sure it's not going to sit well, and it hasn't sit well for all the players.
Something you could do without.
You could do without going into a major tournament, but
yeah.
I'm 100% certain that for the first day or two, it might have been, you know, quiet between them, but then once, you know, training starts going, and then that's just, you know, out the window, and everyone's focused on the tournament.
Of course, we know what Portugal got. They're a very good side. They've got some brilliant footballers. I think this is a Portugal side that it will expect to get out of the group. You heard that Kevin Asher, as I said there, Uruguay, he thinks will top the group, or potentially could. Ghana and South Korea make up the numbers. We don't know whether Heung-min Son is going to feature. I don't know whether the decision has been made on that yet. There is a fear that he will miss out. The poster boy, of course, of South Korean football, that will be a huge blow for them if he doesn't take part.
Yeah, that's like taking out, you know, Harry Kane of England, you know, Neymar, Brazil, and Mbappe for France. That's how big of a player he is for South Korea. He is the only massive name, and he's a great player, and any country and any team would love to have him. But I'm with Kevin on this one. I think Uruguay should top the group. I think they will top the group. They've got some great individuals. Bentancur, Valverde from Real Madrid, Suarez is still there. Yes. Edison Cavani, and you got my boy at Liverpool, Nunes. Right. So, you know, if he comes good, we know he scored goals, and he'll be with his own boys, his nation. He'll be at home at ease and not any pressure on him, so they could be a threat in that group, and I think they might top it.
Uruguay take on South Korea, Portugal, Ghana. They're the first two games. That's on Thursday, the 24th of November. Now, we were talking about Ronaldo. The story, of course, the headlines, he pretty much gobbled up every column inch of all of the newspapers, certainly here at talkSPORT as well. I made the point that perhaps he's really struggling to cope and deal with the personal tragedy, of course, that he suffered by losing his young son, and of course the tragedy professionally for him now, that he's facing up to the facts that he's no longer the Ronaldo that can start and be the number one man. What do you think? 03717 2233 Nug is a Manchester United fan, and he's dialed 03717 2233 Nug, good evening, welcome to the show.
Hi guys, you alright?
Yeah. Where's that name from, Nug?
It's short for, it's just shortened from Nugman to Nug.
Right, okay. Excellent, great nickname. Go on then, Nug, what do you want to say?
I agree with what Ronaldo said in terms of infrastructure, the owners, things like that. The only thing I didn't agree with was him going on at Ten Hag. Maybe he does feel disrespected. He didn't want to come on for the last 3 minutes, and he's obviously taken it that way. But what I was saying earlier is that, like you just said, maybe he's not coming to terms with it. It's easy that he's not Ronaldo of the old. Time has finally caught up with him. His mind might be sharp, but body's not what it was. And you know, maybe he's got a lot to offer still, but I don't think he's got what to offer in the Premiership. I don't think this is a sad way for it to come to an end for him. And I think I heard someone else say a while back that maybe it's time for him to see a psychiatrist, because I don't think he's going to be able to cope without football as easy as he thinks it is. That, you know, I'm going to retire at 40. He's been in this game for a long time. And to give up something like this, I mean, I'm not a footballer, but to give up something that's been in your life, you know, go training every day, games twice a week, he's not going to have that. And maybe it's time for him to see a psychiatrist to try and figure out how he's going to, and that void is how he's going to fill it.
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying there. And he goes on to say that, you know, he starts talking about the canteen, how everything's dated, the training ground. He said it was there when Giggs and all these players was playing. Nothing's changed. The infrastructure, the electronics. if you want updated software, then go to work for Apple. But
you can see, I saw Dortmund had this simulator where the ball kept shooting out and Goetze was stopping it. And I always thought, I wonder if United have got that or they're thinking about getting it. And he's right in the sense that ever since Spurs built that stadium, basically everything else is they've knocked it out of the park with the new Spurs stadium. And, we don't have the greatest stadium anymore. We don't have the best facilities, and they do need... I mean, these guys have been there, 15 years? And they've been taking, roughly 20 million quid a year on dividends. That money could have just as easily have been on training ground, on the stadium, and they haven't bothered. They've basically been lining their pockets. The debt's still there. We has become outdated, and Sir Alex Ferguson retired X amount of years ago, and we're at that stage now where if he says that everything's exactly the same as it was, then, how bad's the stadium going to be? It's dilapidated. It needs doing up. Training ground needs picking up. It's not just about, updated machinery, updated technology. It's about trying to keep up. He said it himself, Juventus, Real Madrid, they've sort of made their way slowly by adding more and more stuff to their stadium. And United haven't, because the money's not there.
Yeah. No, as a Manchester United fan, what would you like to see Ronaldo still there, or what's your view on it? Would you like to see him gone now, or are you on his side, or are you in the Man United side? The owners looking to get rid. What do you want out to come out of this?
It's a sad state of affairs, and I really don't want it to go this way. But I don't think there's a way back for him. I think some of the stuff he said, the fans will agree with. But, we've had player power. Mourinho's gone, Van Gaal's gone. They've all said the same thing as they've left. This is what's happening at the club. Okay, Rangnick wasn't a manager and he shouldn't have been brought in. Ollie was there. And now we've got a new manager who has no link to this club. He's sort of setting a style up. He's taken us forward. He knows what he wants. And Ronaldo is not the main man anymore, and I don't think he can handle that. And after this interview, I think it's time for us to go our separate ways, as sad as it is.
No, thanks for the call, mate. Thanks for the call. No, one thing I will say on the back of that, right, is that those facilities were the same this time last year. Why didn't he do the interview last year?
Because
what's changed?
World Cup's coming up. He's not playing.
He's not playing. That's the difference.
Playing.
So when he was playing...
I don't even think World Cup's the issue. It's not playing.
But he's not playing. Yet this time last year, the facilities were going to be exactly the same. The difference there is, what's changed is that Ten Hag is now the manager. And now, all of a sudden, it's become a bigger problem.